Hi, this is Algebra 1, Module 4, Lesson 8, the notes, the classwork. Um, so we're continuing on from last lesson where Elvira was creating the matrix to represent the number of foods she planned to order this year for the soccer and drama clubs. Your matrix probably looks something like this. So we put the labels on there so that we can keep track. Soccer was chips, cookies, drinks. Drama, chips, cookies, drinks. We're also given information about the cost of purchasing each food item at two different stores, Mainstream Market and Grandpa's Groceries. So this was the costs. They had it in a chart. We put it as a matrix. So the last task, question 4, it was determine how much each event would cost if all the food for the event was purchased at one or the other. So they could be recorded like this. First question is, we need to fill in A, B, C, and D from above. So if you remember, we basically took the 8 times 250, 7 times 3, 4 times 2, and added all those up together to get our A amount. That was the total for soccer. Then we did that same thing, 10 times 2.5, 4 times 3, 4 times 2 to get our total for the drama. Same thing for grandpas. We took each of those with their connection. This is chips, cookies, and drink. Chips, cookies, and drink, and multiplied them by their amounts and added them together to get B, and then did the same thing for the drama. So instead of repeating all of that, um, all that work again, we're just going to fill in this matrix. And actually, you know what? I think I'm just going to fill it in up here. So when we did this, A equaled $49 or 49. B equaled, we added, go ahead and show all these. So when we added all of the chips, cookies, and drinks with the grandpa's grocery pieces, that one ended up being, clicked funny on here. B equaled $50. So we can see it better. B equals $50. C ended up equaling 45. And D ended up equaling 42. So basically I just looked off of the last lesson and saw that's what each of those equaled. All right, explain in detail how you would use the numbers in the first two matrices above to attain the values for the third. We kind of did that when I was going through it, but let's give a little bit better description. So what I did was, and I'm actually going to type that I think up here so that we can kind of see it on here. So, oh, and then that blocks what we can see. 1 second. Okay, so for number 2, we take the row of the first matrix, so this one right here, and we multiplied it by, oops, by the corresponding numbers down the columns of the second matrix. I took the top row and multiplied it by their corresponding pieces on this column. So it was a row times the column as we were going on there for when we were doing that. So that's really what we did. Row times column, row times column, row times column, row times column. All right. In addition to the soccer team and drama club, Elvira plans to host events for the chess club, the cheerleaders, and the football team. She gives you the following matrix to represent the food items that need to be ordered for each of the events. Can we use this matrix multiplication with the cost matrix given above to determine the total cost of each event if items are purchased at each store? Yes. Let's show how. So again, I'm going to really need a copy and paste on here. So it's 250, $3 and 2. This sitting in front of me so I can see. Let's just make this off to the side here. So our original is for the market, we have 250, $3 and $2. And let's give us a little bit of space here. This was chips. We have some labels. This was cookies. And this one was drinks. All right. So now if we go up, we want to do what Grandpa's had, Grandpa's grocery. So his cost for each was, and I'm just putting this down here so that I can see it and I don't have to keep scrolling up and down, $4. And then the drinks were $1.50. All right. So these are the costs. So can I do the same thing? Can I take this row and multiply it by this? Well, yeah, I can. There's 3. Chips goes with chips. Cookies goes with cookies. Drinks goes with drinks. So my new matrix over here is going to look a little bit different. I'm going to start with, bring this up just a little bit, give myself a little space, and we'll do the market, and we'll do Grandpa's grocery, but we're going to have soccer, drama, chess, cheer, and football for these. So we've already done the soccer and the drama. So the soccer, we already said was $49, right? When we multiplied those over. And the Grandpa's grocery was 50. And then the drama we already did, which was 45. And then Grandpa's grocery was 42. Okay. So now we just need to figure out what is the chess clubs. So we're going to take 3 times 250 plus 4 times 3, which is 12. 3 times 250 is 6, 750. So 750 plus 12 plus 2 times 2 is 4. And that gives us a total of 2350. Myself a little more space here, huh? That's a big one. Okay, now I need to do the same thing for Grandpa's grocery. And so I'm going to take the 3 times 2, which is 6, 4 times 4, which is 16, 2 times 150, which is 3, and add those all together. And what I get for that is $25. Do the same thing for cheer. So the cheerleaders have 250, so that's $5. 3 times 3, that's 9. 2 times 2 is 4. If I add that all together, I end up with $18. And for Grandpa's, I'm going to do the same thing, this row by this column. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times $1.50 is 3. So my total for Grandpa's grocery is $19 in price. And the football team, they are going to do the same thing. A lot bigger numbers though. 14 times 250 would be 28 plus 7, which is 35. 12 times 3 is 36. 8 times 2 is 16. That gives me a total of $87. They're a big crowd to feed and big ears for those guys. And then we're going to do it for grandpas. So 14 times 2 is 28. 12 times 4 is 48. 8 times $1.50 is 8 and 4 is 12. So another 12. So we add that all together and we get 88. So we can do that with our original matrix because we have the same titles to go with each column. Okay, so in addition to chips, cookies, and drinks, Elvira plans to add rolls and cold cuts to the event's menu. She gives you the following matrix to represent all the food items that need to be ordered for each event. Can you use the matrix multiplication with the cost matrix given above to determine the total cost of each event if the items are purchased at each store? If yes, show how. If no, explain why not. Well, I can do the chips, cookies, and drinks, but do I have prices for the rolls and cold cuts? I don't. So I actually cannot do this. I cannot make a matrix for it because we need additional rows in the grocery store matrix to provide the cost of rolls and cold cuts at each market. So if they would have given us that information, we could have, but because they haven't, we really can't do more with that. All right, that's it for this lesson. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.